Hello, everyone. This is Intelligence Mod, and I am Clint, and I am joined by Jonathan and Ted, and we're back to regular broadcasting. We're going to call this the GM's Summon Up and Enlighten. I don't remember what we're calling this show. Maybe we need to sit down and actually like rename things. But I don't know if you guys had heard of this, but have you heard or seen on the internet that there has been talk about a consumer's guide to TTRPGs, the red light, yellow light, green light list? Ted knows about it, and Ted knows what we're going to be talking about.
Oh, what the base thing is.
The consumer's guide to TTRPGs, in a subtitle, because it's a well-written document, a handbook on ethical companies and tabletop gaming. This whole title here is like super misleading to me. You think like, oh, ethical, okay, then these are like the good guys. No. So basically what this is a red light, green light, or a green light, yellow light, red light on games. And it is a list, because of course it's a list, of games that are either semi-woke or don't really do anything, ones that are like staunchly non-political, or those that are woke. And for definitions, woke being basically non-bigoted, inclusive, and also woke isn't a real thing. It's just being a person.
I literally saw this on TikTok a week ago.
This is where I found it too, and I thought it'd be a great thing to talk about, because I found this person's actual actual like Google Doc that's constantly being updated and stuff. So
you found the Google Doc. I just shared the foremost.
Oh, I shared the initial on my TikTok as well, but
oh no, I put it in our chat so Jonathan could at least take a look at it.
Okay, so I want you guys know to go more. I want go in mostly blind for this. You can peruse it later. So it has a foreword, it has an FAQ page, and it has a list of red, yellow, green, yellow, and red. And remember, it's backwards for normal people. So the red ones are good and the green ones are bad. But actually not really. Some of the green ones have just like not said anything really about anything, because some of them are like, I think, tiny companies that just haven't took any stance whatsoever. So
just keeping out of it. But
basically this is just making them, this person making themselves a victim is really what this is. Right now too. It's this person making themselves a victim. FAQ, I found this was very funny. Why are you doing this? I was just sick and tired of being either deceived into buying something only to find out it isn't what I expected. I would buy a book and get excited for it, join various communities about the game, only to find that the companies were extremely toxic or unwelcoming to people like Nazis and bigots and transphobes. It basically is like, tell me you're a racist without telling me you're a racist. And it's just like, it's just this whole thing of just victimhood crap. But this isn't where the funny crap is. The funniest stuff is the stuff in red and their reasonings. And this is what I wanted to go over. So you might recognize a lot of these things. So who made it to the red list? Arc Dream Publishing. They make Delta Green. I do not recognize them. Delta Green Handler's Guide has a whole section on Trump. They are actually more hostile to Trump than actual historical Nazis.
I remembered reading that and laughing.
Welcome on this road, Jonathan. That's just the beginning. Arcanist Press. It's the descriptions of why they're on the list. That's the funniest to me. Arcanist Press only makes diversity products. They base their company on their politics. So I'm assuming they probably just make supplemental books about that just add, you know, POCs and different type. This person's the same person that got mad when someone made up magical wheelchairs for D&D. Like, I feel this is the same person that would make that same exact thing. I'm actually going to Arcanist Press right now.
Oh, Arcanist Press, thank you. I was like, Arcanist Gaming, that's the wrong.
So we're gonna do a little screen share action there.
I mean, I guess you know what? I could. I'll
probably gonna, yeah, you probably should, so we can at least kind of see.
We don't talk about the same thing.
I will do that. I will share. I'll block out the thing, but Arcanus Press, sure, except
the very big top thing is literally ancestry and culture, an alternative to race in 5e, and I'm like, I am more curious now and
so products of what they make, yeah, ancestry and culture, and alternative, custom ancestries and cultures, more ancestries and cultures. So they basically make, they just make books for extra ancestries and stuff. They make a bunch of neat things like that. Is what it seems like. Okay. Truly, they are the mark of the devil. I'm going to close all this other junk. Then it comes to Britannia Games. They make Chivalry and Sorcery, Land of the Rising Sun for D&D. It's a big, long freaking quote you see. It's just this huge, just like, basically, they go with the true fact of what happened in Europe. It wasn't so, you know, monochromatic like other people were in Europe. And, you know, if your Europe in your mind is monochromatic and all white and there was no people of color, then, you know, like, get out. And he takes that as a slight against himself. And I say he, and I'm only like 99% sure it's a dude, because this just screams freaking white bearded energy. I know we all have it, but not this kind. Burning Wheel HQ, Loot Crane. They make Burning Wheel, Torchbearer, and Mouse Guard. I know Mouse Guard.
Oh, okay.
It was it was painful to put this on here because I remember I sort of enjoyed reading Burning Wheel back in Burning Wheel Gold first came out. It had some interesting ideas. However, I cannot ignore the fact that Luke Crane and his company have extremely close ties with Anita. I'm gonna freaking
Sarkeesian.
Thank you. I was gonna butcher her name. Feminist Frequency. You can find their selfies together online. My goodness, they took pictures together. Heaven forbid. If you're a masochist, here's a link to I read that as misogynist for some reason. So there's that. But here's a super funny one, Coyote and Crow. I find this one a bunch of actual racists making a racist game, screeching about colonialism and a whole premise that their game is what if white people didn't exist. One of the worst offenders on this list. Coyote and Crow, here's their website, made a sci-fi and fantasy tabletop role-playing game set in the First Nations alternate future where colonization never happened. That honestly sounds rad as fuck. That's basically just what looks like the art right on the front screams First Nations version of Wakanda. I'm all for it. I'm all freaking for it. This looks so cool.
It's literally you are role playing in Wakanda, but all nations that weren't colonized.
Yeah, it's the First Nations. It's just what I initially got. It's like, okay, it's like a futuristic version of Wakanda, but it's set in North America and it's with the First Nations. These are the racists, Jonathan. People that just use their culture to.
Oh no,
it's a real shame that these racists are just making a game that you don't have to buy, isn't it?
Now,
damn.
There's one item on that list that is one of my favorite ones.
We're gonna get to them all, Ted. I'm planning on going through the list, not the whole list, just the red, because the red's the funniest. The red's where all the good descriptions are. Evil Beagle Games, Sean Patrick Fannin, Evil Beagle Games is dedicated to the principles of inclusivity, diversity, representation, and kindness. All trigger words to the right. We cannot have anything of these things, and went rambling on because critical race. Oh my god, critical race theory. Holy crap. Being a driving factor, asked to be on this list as read. Oh, that's right. This was originally posted on a forum. I'm not going to name the forum. I'm not going to name the poster. I'm not going to give them any sort of signal. People can Google this if they want to find it. Also, SPF has accusations of sexual harassment. I don't know if that's true. And honestly, if people do have sexual harassment things, that's fucked up. But Evil Hat Productions. I own one of these books. I own the Jim Butcher. Oh god, Harry Dresden Files. The Dresden Files. Another poster child for woke gaming. Oh my god. Embedded in everything from their forums to their products and staff, has gotten products pulled from one bookshelf and tried to deep platform others. Published Thirsty Sword Lesbians with Gay Spaceship Games. Has official stance on politics and must be intersectional feminists to play his games. Openly tells you if you don't like their politics, don't buy their games. Too easy. Well, that's true. If you know, Games Workshop said the same thing.
Yeah, this
Games Workshop said at one point the same thing. I realized I never maximized this page, so for a while now, I'm gonna have to put a little bar on the side, hiding all of our names and all the different chats and stuff that I'm in. But Games Workshop came out with the same, a very similar thing of just saying, hey, if you're an asshole racist, then we don't want you at our table and we don't want you buying our products anyway, so go eat a dick. Here's a great one, Gen Con.
the Gen Con made it, which I love so much. Gen
Con, a convention, but honorary assholes nonetheless. They got a bit ban happy. See Jeremy Hembley and the whole thing with NUTSR. I have no idea how they would want that to pronounce. New TSR. But yeah, this was all in response to everything that happened with TSR and Gen Con turning around and like, yeah, no, our history began with the original TSR, but we are not fucking part of any of this shit. The quartering on YouTube was assaulted by someone at Gen Con. It's just and banned for being the victim of a crime, the wrong place at the wrong time. It was founded by Peter Pat Atkinson, former president of Wizards of the Coast. This one is where they're wrong too. Green Ronin, they didn't name all the games that they make. They also make Mutants and Masterminds. Chris Paramus is a self-described member of Antifa. We caught him. Fucking Antifa. God damn it. That group of people that don't like fascists. They do not get that it stands for something. It's not a weird word. It stands for anti-fascists. We shortened it because, you know,
it's not a political party, but it's the same kind of group where it's not like they're not the Knights Templar guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that publishes Blue Rose, the gay RPG. Here's a second reference to an RPG that has LGBTQ representation. Yeah, I probably wouldn't play the Blue Rose or whatever that. Oh, you know what? Actually, the lesbian spaceship one, it'd be kind of funny to play that. If I had a group of like people that I would watch it be played. I don't know if I would play it because you could just, you could tell those things that you are not part of the demographic, like at all. This is neat, but this is not made for me, and I don't think I'd enjoy it as much. Grim and Perilous Games, White Hander, Flames of Freedom, freaking dumpster fire. Official Discord and forums heavily enforced. Daniel Fox's politics down to having a bot that blocks any message using banned words. That's just common. Normal. That's super common for massive discords to have banned words, because it's a full-time job to freaking run a Discord channel. It's a pain in the butt. I run one for like the 7 of us in my D&D game. It's a pain in the ass sometimes. Preaches against colonialism and white people and heavy dose of blah, 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 blah. It's just same bullshit, different thing. I only glanced at some of this anti-Semitism. See Judges Guild controversy. I don't know. I just don't feel like it. Unless you want to. Unless you want to, Ted. You want me to dive into this?
Which one?
The Judges Guild. Bob Bledsaw II. Anti-Semitism. See Judges Guild controversy.
Hold up. That's Judges Guild.
Blog folks on OSR Gaming, Swords and Wizardry RPG.
I'm on the same.
Okay, if you want to click, I can kind of keep going.
I'll take a look at it. I'm curious.
Kobold Press, Chapter 2 of The Guide to Game Mastering has a whole section on telling the reader to check your privilege. Oh my god, put a gun in my mouth. This is the stupidest crap. And the whole thing that kind of reads like the gender studies course or something actively disparages cis white males. I freaking honestly doubt that. I doubt it's actually doing that. Also known to charge writers for the chance to write, charge writers for the chance to write with them, and then prides themselves on paying them a penny per word. Well, if that's true, that's just kind of shitty practice. But here's this one, Magpie Games, who just made the Avatar Legends RPG. They are apparently way too BLM, and diversity and inclusion also hired Daniel Kwan from Asians Represent YouTube channel. They tried to get Oriental Adventures banned from one bookshelf and other storefronts. What book? What? That's the second time he's referenced from a bookshelf. What bookshelf? Whose bookshelf is he? What's
his place?
Whose bookshelf are they banning this from? Is that? I don't know any store that has bookshelf in its title. If it was
which one are we on real quick?
It's
I was reading the Tinker's Tavern thing.
Sorry, it's the Magpie Games. They say they tried to get Oriental Adventures banned from one bookshelf and other storefronts. Is one bookshelf
like a website?
A website? Because that's the second time he's referenced banned from one bookshelf. One is, and I'm sorry, I own.
Yes, One Bookshelf is a digital download marketplace focused on several publishing areas like role-playing games, comic books, fiction, card games, and
okay.
games.
Next time you write, I'm speaking to them now. Next time you write your weird treatise on you're freaking pissed off because of diversity thing, when you're actually nouns, or as a person, place, or thing, a proper noun is the name of something. Capitalize it, dipshit. Okay. Back to this.
One Bookshelf actually is above Drive-Thru RPG.
Okay. So
on the anti-Semitism thing, he actually has one thing on the like the bad list that's actually bad. It's Bob Blitz Jr. It's the second.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny. Made a bunch of anti-Semitic statements and a bunch of things, and a bunch of things dropped him. So he's
then he could just fall off a cliff. Then
yeah, he's part of the company, but he's not the full company of Judges Guild. His father's the one in charge. Pretty much, it's like it's the whole Gary Gygax Jr. thing. So,
yeah, it's one of those like it's more like a guilty by association kind of thing. That Judges Guild was made by his dad, so because he's bad, that must mean his dad is bad, or who knows? Yeah. Who knows this person's thought? Modifius. They make Infinity, Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition, Fallout RPG, which I actually want to look at because it looks really neat. Conan and etc. Publishes some woke products and feminizes Conan the Barbarian. Okay. Allegedly hires based on race. These lowercase the H. Next time, just quick read through of your weird thing. These are also the current license holders of Vampire the Masquerade, which has been a trip to keep up with. See this changes to Conan. Apparently that must have been a link. See this changes to Conan the Barbarian, which is not a hyperlink. So good for you on that.
So they no longer have Vampire, but they're the ones who do Dune, the one I picked up. So everything like that, and they're actually a pretty decent company when it comes to stuff, so I kind of love this stuff.
Yeah, this is the thing. All of these companies are mostly decent. They just pissed off this one white dude that's like, I don't, we know. Well, here we are. Monkey House Games, Jeff D, enormous asshole and activist. If you are a Republican or a conservative or Christian, this hates you. That's just a bad sentence. So it's if you're a Republican, a conservative, or Christian, then he hates you. That's what you must have been looking for. But it's okay. I got you. If I could edit this, I would actively on the video. Like edit this stupid shit. Monty Cook Games partners with Shanna Germain and wrote Consent in Gaming. Anything with Jermaine's fingers is an automatic red. So this person, oh my god, this is just ridiculous. Consent in Gaming. I can just from the title of that, I get the gist of it. Why he's just pissed off. Why can't I pretend to have sex with another player character? Because it's fucking weird, bro. That's why. It's freaking odd. My Forog Varg, I have no idea. Owns a blog. Thulian Perspective did time for murder.
Yeah.
Self-described neo-Nazi. Okay, so this must be like the one, or this must be added to the one or two that are legitimately actually bad to try to make his whole list look bad. Regularly post 8. So yeah, he's sticking random, actually horrid people that are very loudly racist in this whole thing. Because I think even at the very top, he actually has original TSR, the new TSR with Gary Jr. at the top, and he's a huge douche. Occult or these guys have really complicated names. Stockholm Cartel uses the OGL to shoot down authors they disagree with, supports BLM and bailing out rioters. View their license for yourself. We need concrete examples of anything using this. Morkborg, so it's just pissed off.
They don't have any actual evidence.
Yeah, they do. On the other thing, the murder thing, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I don't want to spend forever on it, but there's one more page.
Let me see the P's real quick.
The P's. Now we're getting to ones I recognize. Like I own some of these games.
Okay, well, I just gotta say real quick with the P's, I'm surprised Posthuman's not in there because I saw some anarchist thing several up, and they describe themselves as very anarchist. Like
this is supposed to be a living document, but he's doing a piss poor job keeping it updated. Old school publishing.
It's actually been updated because Games Workshop was on this list.
Oh, they took it off?
Yep, it was in the red list for their statement and their hating of customers.
Was previously placed here as an unsubstantial ruiner, however, has expressed a strong desire to remain in this category due to strong feelings to those who don't specifically share his views. Keeps close relationships with self-described communists. What is this? The fucking 1960s?
Yeah.
Oh, the Red Scare.
Yeah. Well, they're in the red category, so they are scary.
It's public on his Twitter feed. Oh, he's a communist. Oh, socialism. Onyx Path Publishing, another one that I actually own books of. Heavily enforces political requirements in their communities. Games are full of postmodern and leftist themes and preaching to no end. And also, a lot of Onyx Path Publishing games regularly switches pronouns from she, her to he, him, like from section to section, which the first time I read was confusing at first, but then like after 5 minutes, you're like, oh, I get what they're doing. Every little section, they, just so everybody feels
I gotta pipe in with a little thing. You know what else is communist, guys, right? Like police and firefighters. We all pay for them to do
a service. Exactly. We all pay to get a service. Freaking
run by the government.
And libraries. The
whoa. Knowledge?
Yeah, you can't just be spreading around knowledges. If the serfs learn to read, then the whole kingdom will fall. Moving on. Paizo for Pathfinder, which it's D&D, so it's a second thing, has whole pages in their books telling you that you must play their game and be inclusive, harasses customers aggressively, moderates forums against anyone to the right of Stalin, retcon Galarian lore to be more inclusive. Starfinder even has an adventure where you needed to get a professor at a university to apologize for being insensitive despite being factually correct. No lie, first adventure path. Now I just want to know the context because that just sounds super interesting. Like I just want to know the context now of that.
It's actually really great because in the game, it's about to start a war. Like that's the context. There's about to be a throwdown because it's the return of the Rune Lords for second edition. Actually, what was the first adventure path for second edition?
Oh, another adventure path for Pathfinder showed all men as incompetent. Reed likes a Tumblr post, and all the women were super powerful. And if you didn't bring the black lesbian disabled ranger with you, then you were automatically lost. Iron Gods or something like that. I actually was running Iron Gods for you, Jonathan. Yeah, I liked Iron Gods.
I didn't remember that part.
We never made it past the first book, so
which part was it again? I was running Iron Gods for a different group, and I usually read the entire adventure path to kind of get an idea for what the players might need. Yeah, you need that character because she's an integral part of the damn thing. Not, oh, she's in there for work purposes. It's no, she's disabled because of the country it is and all the chemicals and stuff, but you need her to get to the spot, but she's the only one who knows how to get there. She's the one that discovered it.
So then it's Pilgrim Press 13th Age. The thing with SWG, straight white guys, is that they make great punching bags. Apparently that is a quote. They still need a citation for this, but so they found some quote that someone said that they said, but they actually have no fucking proof. That's hilarious. Okay, sure. Renegade Studios, apparently they're the ones that made Vampire the Masquerade now.
They're the other ones that have it now. Yeah.
I believe these guys are the current name of who owns VTM. Not sure where to start with these guys. Nonstop preaching. Large chunks of their books will be ranting about fascist, right wing, and pretty much everyone they disagree with.
Now, I will say, it's their book. They can say what they want now.
Yeah, basically.
No, it's not even that. When 5th edition first came out, it was very right wing. It was very right wing.
This is very much like this could be a whole researched video on its own about like what happened with Vampire.
It was amazing like how fast the backlash was that made White Wolf go, we're dropping on it. It was because it was Onyx Path. No, it wasn't. It was not Onyx Path. It was the first guys that did it. Well, no, White Wolf has it. They're the ones that did it. Then they had one published company doing it. They screwed up so badly because of all the backlash and all the right wing and neo-Nazi and alt-right stuff that they then had to be like, yeah, you're done. Went to a different company who then had to clean everything up. And then it's just been jumping from there. So I think like the Renegade Games is the third company to hold the right now.
Roll20. We all know Roll20. We all use Roll20. Strongly supports BLM and woke titles, participates in fundraisers for those causes. These are all reasons to support Roll20. Also refuses to sponsor a live play by Taking 20, Dawn Forged Cast, and few others because they didn't need any more straight white guys. Not sponsoring the video isn't the problem here. It's their reason is their reason is racist as fuck. I
don't feel like they would ever say that. No matter how true it may or may not be, I don't think they would ever say that because
also
they're not
refused to
stupid.
sponsor a live play by Taking 20, Dawn Forged Cast. So they didn't. That just seems weird. Like they said no to giving them money because
I remember this because I was following a YouTuber who actually commented to be a part of it. And it literally was, they had specifically said they were looking for someone to do like another live cast using Roll20, but they wanted to have more diverse, inclusive group. This guy's group approached and they went and the person went, no, we're done with straight white guys. We need more diversity. Sorry. Like it was a huge dust up. Like one guy, like Roll20 got sued. That guy got sued. The other people won, unfortunately.
It's the word of just saying like they were looking for sponsors.
Yeah, this was back in Roll20's like early days.
I mean, who was looking for the sponsor? Was it Roll20 looking for the sponsor or the game or the player, the game group?
It was the group.
20.
It was the game group. Okay, well that makes then yeah, they came up and said, "Hey, do you want to give us money and we'll openly say we're using Roll20 and kind of push your product?" And they just told them no.
Well, I guess they did actually say they wanted to have more diverse people they were sponsoring.
I mean,
they also did say we don't. The quote is correct. Don't need any more straight white guys because that person misspoke and that was the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. So technically, I guess if they lost a suit, then it's like, yeah, you kind of did say something kind of stupid, but.
Yeah, it was one of the dumbest things ever because the guy's like
some lawyers like they said what?
Not even that. The gaming guy was like I wasn't really going to sue them. I was doing other projects with them for other things, and then that happened, and he took everything off Roll20. So it's just like I listened to that and went, you got butthurt because they said they wanted more straight white guys literally during some of these like big things. Okay, whatever.
Well, now there's just a ton of people using Roll20 and whatnot, but Sigil Stone Publishing, they have a last page called Bioessentialism, Racism, and Colonialism. So we've said colonialism, and that is a trigger word. That means they are evil. Stygian Fox, I actually don't know any of these books. A transgender owner and fully inclusive team, including asexual and bisexuals. Okay, for one, it's not asexual, it's asexual. It's one goddamn word, dipshit. Hires favoring trans people of Hires favoring trans, people of color, IDIC, and other minorities. Each book contains a trigger warning system and other covers for mature gamers, produces Lovecraftian horror role-playing game books, and often makes statements via Twitter of inclusivity and stating, if you're not like us, don't buy our books. Definitely red, almost infrared. Woke AF. Good God.
Hold on, I don't know what IDIC means, gonna be honest.
I don't know either. I'm assuming it's just another list of just, it's some sort of...
I'm thinking like indigenous something. But
probably, it's some sort of BIPOC or it's some trigger word in this flavor of minorities, trans people, LGBTQ, all this basically all these things that this straight white dude does not like.
So, but before we go to the next one, back to the Varg Vigerson. So, yes, he is a neo-Nazi. Yes, he did go to jail for murder in 93.
Okay.
37. He's a Norwegian black medalist, which honestly explains.
Okay, those guys are like insane.
Yeah, like I was like, she's like Norwegian black medal, and I went, all this now makes a whole lot more sense now. But not to disparage Norwegian black medalists, you guys know most of you have got some good music. Some of you really need to get off the
when you go hog fucking okay, when Norwegian black metal is cool, but like when Norwegian black metal go crazy, they go like burn down a church crazy. Like they go like there's no middle, they go right to fifth gear and they're in it. There's no like let's just
down mailboxes.
Yeah, there's no hitting mailboxes from the truck. They go right to burning down an old ass church and murdering someone.
So the book he wrote is the Norwegian language book called Vargsmal or Varg's Speech. It's literally only being sold as of 99. It is only being sold by the Nazi organization Heathen Front.
Oh my God. Fuck this dude.
I don't know if it's still being sold, but that's what we can
that dude personally. So 2 out of like the 12 are legitimately terrible people. Yeah, 2. The one that's an anti-Semite, and then this guy.
I know. I am just loving. This list makes me laugh.
Tuesday Night Games Mothership RPG, published with Dissident Whispers zine, the proceeds of which are directly to bailing out BLM writers. Of course, can't do that. I bet he'd be completely fine if it was bailing out the insurgents, that freaking, the terrorist organizations that try to overthrow the government. I bet he'd be completely fine with that. Probably was on the bus with these motherfuckers. Wizard of the Coast, apparently they harass customers, diversity checkboxes, hires based on race, pedo judges. Oh, that must be Magic the Gathering type stuff, because it took judges. I forget, they're talking about as a whole, so this is TTRPG.
Gathering, so I wasn't thinking that.
Bans anyone they disagree with on social issues from all sanctioned events. True dumpster fire. Well, yes, if you're a huge ass racist and a bigot and a transphobe, they will ban you from events.
And they're sanctioned events. If some fucking really conservative event banned someone for having opposing views, that'd be fine too.
Yeah, sadly, judges at any sort of competition that deal with any sort of game, there's always some sort of like really sad issues with like assaults and stuff like that. Like any game that has a high amount of underage children that play it, there's always going to be some absolute sicko that's doing shit like that,
like Little League and stuff, I'm sure too.
That too, but I mean like this kind of stuff. So that's the red list. The yellow list, it's nowhere near as it's not Atlas Games, Catalyst Game Labs, they make Shadowrun. Chaosium, they make Call of Cthulhu, Pendragon. Cubicle 7's in the yellow, they make Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game. The Not Too Bad, others I'm only going over these because I know these ones. Their art design is they're definitely woke, and it's because the art design shows it, because probably there's too many girls. Eagle Edge, Edge Studios, they make Star Wars and Genesis RPG, acquired all of the Final Fantasy RPG line. They toe the standard line and employ quite a few hardcore postmodernist. In-world, Fantasy Flight Games, mostly just, I guess, they gender swap established characters. They ban words that consider offensive, like shouting bonsai during TCG events. Yeah, that's weird. I remember when they used to do that for their card game and stuff. Gallant Knights. I don't recognize Sharp Swords and Sinners of Spells and Tiny RPGs. Goodman
the
Games.
Tiny RPGs are really cool.
Goodman Games, Dungeon Crawl Classics, GURPS, Steve Jackson's games, Hero Games, Hero Forge Miniatures, Reaper Miniatures, Talsorian Games, Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk Red. They also do the Witcher TTRPG. If you didn't know that, if you did your research on this stupid thing of your stupid list, you would know. Ulysses Spiel. I don't know.
I don't know.
Tor, Fading Suns, Dark Eye, Adventurium, and Myth.
It's a name.
Yeah.
I'm being looked at weird for saying German terribly. I gotta say, a lot of these things on the yellows and the reds are actually really cool games, like tiny RPGs.
Yeah.
Y'all should go check those out. Those are actually like super legit.
I remember the last time I looked at this, I actually didn't own any books on the green list. And like you see how most of them they don't say anything because they just haven't said anything either direction. So I know a lot of people had some people I follow on TikTok were like, look, don't just take this as like a never look at these products, still look at them as a company. Some of them are just not said anything because they're a game company. They might have a very inclusive and very thought out game and stuff, but they just haven't like specifically come out and like raged against the machine of the patriarchy. Which was a good point that, you know, because there's some things on here that, you know, like I haven't heard of. I've heard of two of them. I've heard of Far Future Enterprises. They make Traveler, because I've heard of Traveler. And then Palladium's on here, and they make Rifts. And those are the only two games on here that I know of.
Oh, for the green?
For green. There are only two game companies I recognize, or two games, because they rattle off games.
Peterson Games. You've seen because I own Mongoose Games is on there with Paranoia.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, it's right underneath Palladium.
Oh, okay. Then I do know Paranoia.
Peterson Games has the Cthulhu Mythos stuff, like the 5th edition book I have.
I can understand like why Paranoia, like the setting of Paranoia has really nothing to do with you're just a human.
You could be
being
whatever.
Controlled by the mother computer, the master computer. I can't remember what it's called.
No, they made the list because they have the "Don't Be a Dick" section.
Oh no, this is the green list. This is the good to go.
That's what I'm saying. It made the green list because it had the "Don't Be a Dick."
Well, I mean, they also have just not. They're not saying anything. It's not like you're just a person. It doesn't matter.
I was laughing. Yeah, I was laughing because I went because I actually have the.
I know Savage. Okay, I know Savage World and Deadlands. I know that one too, but I've only ever played it once with you, Ted, with some friends that you don't talk to anymore.
Yeah, it's an interesting system, just me. But no, what's made me laugh the most is some of this stuff on here. It's like, okay, these are things that I love the Peterson Games of. People tried to cancel Sandy Peterson for not being woke and saying that, you know, men shouldn't play in women's sports while trans people. You know, seems like a pretty good guy. And I'm going, I'm like annoyed I bought that book now because goddamn. It just makes me laugh so much.
Some other random ones from the green list: Postmodern Studios, Precious Intermedia, Riot Minds, RPG Pundit, Sasquatch Studios, Sefner Games, Schwab Entertainment, Sign Nominee, Studio Agate, Swordfish Islands, The Design Mechanism, Troll Lord Games, Tenkar's Tavern, TSR Hobbies. I know that one. That's Ernie, that big douche. White Box, and then Wizard Thief Fighter. And I mean, a lot of these have no like explanation under them because again, it's like they might not have said anything at all. Like if the game was just about robots and it had nothing to do with like, you know, the greater systems of like our society, and it was just literally like, oh, play a robot, you know. But yeah, you're right. 40K was on here and it was in the red. And it was because of that. If you don't like our game, go fuck yourself and get away from our table. There is a fire truck still outside of my window.
I'm trying to figure out
spicy takes, man.
I'm like trying to figure out what adventure path he's talking about for the
Starfinder.
Oh, for Starfinder.
Starfinder, not Pathfinder. I'm looking at the completely wrong.
Yeah, they're looking. It was the first adventure path of Starfinder that he was talking about, and the event in the disabled ranger was from Iron Gods, and I just never got that far through Iron Gods
for Pathfinder. I remember, yeah. And
then we made the jump to 5th edition, and just I just hopped from Pathfinder, and I never got in a second. What's funny is there's actually someone on here that even because there's an FAQ in here that even says like, oh, you're totally you're Pundit, which is I guess one of the games on his green list, which like I wouldn't surprise me if this person is. They say who their name is, and again, I don't want to like bring up their username or the website I found this from. Someone else can really do this. We're just kind of, this is just more funny of just reading this psychopath's freaking rantings and ravings.
As soon as you mentioned the list, I was like, oh my god, I read through this. I have laughed several times because I kind of just I've been debating making an account on that forum just so I could like
the forum. Oh my god, the forum is just like 30 pages of just of them just okay, I'm generalizing, Ted. It's just dozens and dozens of pages of just people just bitching and moaning about the same crap. Just, oh, this game does this and this game, and you should move this game to here, and here's another game that does shitty stuff. And
this thread, as of right now, is up to 94 pages.
Oh my god. And yeah, this blew up on TikTok about last week and a half ago. I've done a video on it.
I haven't. I didn't touch it. I was like, I don't care enough.
I laughed at it because I just did a reaction, be like, "This is freaking hilarious. This is a funny read because this dude's insane."
I don't know what was the first. What was the first Starfinder adventure path?
I think I actually owned the first book of the Starfinder adventure when I was thinking about getting into that. But if anything, I think that might be the end of this.
Red Suns, okay.
That's right, Black Sun. This was the end of this. This was the red, green, yellow list of TTRPGs written by an absolute dipshit.
That way you named it was super confusing. I had like no idea what you were talking about.
It's the
should have just said the naughty list of RPGs.
Yeah, it's the consumer's consumer's guide to TTRPGs is what he calls it. Like that's actually the title of his paper. But if anything, you can follow technically all three of us on Twitter, but Jonathan doesn't really use his Twitter very often, except if he's going to reply to Beast or Mr. Beast to try to get $100,000 in Bitcoins. I saw that. You can follow Ted.
I use it for random though.
You can follow me and Ted on TikTok. We have it's the same username as our Twitters. We have a coffee account. If you want to send us money, you don't have to. You can just watch this video and share it. That's fine. Yeah, other than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, look at our other social media things, all that other jazz. But yeah, until next time, which, we'll figure out some other topic to talk about, or you can write in the comments what you would like us to talk about.